Hey, I'm Ronnie Green from a Fishing Story TV show. This is the time of the year where the sun's out. Yes, it's about 97 degrees. We're here in Florida. The heat is on, baby. You all know me as a fisherman, but one of the other things you know is that I'm a bass fisherman at heart. So what does that mean for the whole year of fishing? That means that I'm gonna be fishing from January through about June, because you got the spawn, and then of course you got post-spawn, and then you got the funk. I just call it the funk because it's just hot and the bass just don't want to cooperate. So what do? Saltwater fishing, offshore to be exact. I do a lot of it and I love it. And the reason why I do it is because I have all the appropriate equipment. I'll start off with this. You know, I opened up my back truck. When I'm putting together my arsenal for offshore fishing, it's got to be some good braid, probably 30-pound braid, if not more. Depends on what you're going for. If you're going for grouper, if you're going for red snapper, and of course you got to have the right leader. I always use a lot of my extreme offshore angler. This fluorocarbon is the one that I use because it makes sense for me. So I get on some 30, 50, even 60-pound fluoro and drop down. I call it the little Carolina rig with about 2 to 4 ounce weight. Drop down and get me some nice grouper fish, because a lot of folks like grouper. I like mangrove snapper. Big mangroves. I'm talking 20 inches to 29 inch is the biggest that I've ever caught. But you know how I like to catch my mangrove snapper and my red snapper? Jig fishing, baby. You don't even know. I like fishing with my offshore angler, so these are the freestyle jigs that I like to throw. Slow pitch jigging is my deal. And you see me on even some shows where I'm actually slow pitch jigging. There are so many expensive, high price jigs out there. Believe it or not, this is the one I use. This is an amazing jig, and let me tell you why. It has the perfect flutter, and then it doesn't lose its color. The color is a big deal. When you get a lot of bites on it with the red snapper, even grouper, even red grouper, it's gonna tear it up a little bit. This thing has stood the test of time. I go offshore with the American Patriot. I go offshore with all sorts of boats, spend 3 or 4 days on it. I would have about 8 to 10 of these in my bag because I know I'm gonna catch them. I love jig fishing. But what I love about offshore fishing as well is my boat, of course. I like to go out in my Ranger boat. Of course, I'm gonna have that Mercury engine on the back, and I usually have a 400. And I like the cream colored Mercury engines because they're just aesthetically, they're beautiful. That doesn't catch more fish, but it sure makes me feel like it does. And of course, I have the Bob's Machine Shop jack plate and my power poles. I gotta have my power pole anchors. So make sure you find your way to Bass Pro Shops and find some of the tackle I talked about. And of course, if you can afford it, if you'd like it, find you a Ranger too, because it'll get you inshore in 10 inches of water, and it'll get you offshore as far as you need to go.